Go ahead.
Apparently, I'm starting. Hello. This is... And then you're supposed to say your channel name.
Oh, well, shut up, you. I wanted you to keep talking, but this is Joel from AZ Yu-Gi-Oh! Village giving you a rundown. My friend Anthony Scola here. What did you run?
Infernity.
And how did you do?
I beat every matchup I played that wasn't Mermail, and I played 3 Mermail decks, and I lost all of them. So I went 5-3 and lost on the bubble. And this deck beats everything that isn't Mermail. I was hoping maybe I'd go 6-2, or only see 2 Mermails. If I was a cocky player, I'd say it was a meta choice, but I just like Infernity.
Understandable.
And I'll tell you why it loses to Mermail shortly. Well, for monsters, I got 3 Archfiends.
Okay.
3 Necromancer. I got 2 Guardian, which is like the most underrated card ever in this deck, ever. The current meta has like no outs to this card, and anybody who I play will end up attesting to this card, just ruining people's lives.
Fucking Guardian.
Yes, especially against it really hurts wind-up players. There's not much they can do to it, and then the Mermail deck actually has very few outs to this as well, except apparently my round 4 opponent had the mind control, so that was fun. 2 Mirages, 3's too many, and it'll end up clogging your hand. And then General, who's the new one. I won one of my games against a wind-up player with nothing but a shitload of monsters and a General to do all the attacking. And his removal effect from Grave facilitates a bunch of OTKs that are really nice. Avenger is my only tuner in the deck, which is nice. Because I don't like Beetle, but it's also weird because the deck is made to spam synchros. So if he gets removed, you're usually in a lot of trouble. Then there's the Tech Tour Guide, which is to pull out Necromancer. Not only do I have a hard matchup against Mermail, but for whatever reason I opened really bad against all of them too. In my second Mermail matchup, Game 2, I opened up double Necromancer Tour Guide. So I basically opened triple Necromancer, which is super fun. 1 Dark Grepher, it got dropped from 2, but there's of turn 1 Void Ogre play with him and Guardian and 1 card in hand. And then Stygian Street Patrol, which helped me to, this is the reason I 2-0'd the Dark World matchup I had. I played 2 windups, 2 Chaos Dragons, a Dark World, and 3 Mermails, and I beat everything that wasn't Mermail. And then spells, 3 MST, and heavy for
Back row hate.
Mind Control, which might come out. This was my. There's 2 cards that were an easy side, and it was this and Zero Max. And Zero Max is super nice with Guardian or with General because it makes it a dark hole because he's 27, and it also helps me to. It's like a secondary monster born if I'm in bad situation mid game. However, these 2 always came out, and my only things I ever sided for the whole day was pretty much Gozens and a couple other things, but these always came out for Gozen match. Foolish, Mandatory, Monster, Dark Hole, or Monster-born Dark Hole, and then Launcher. Launcher is the best card ever, it's so good. And then Traps, I ran a very trap-heavy build, and I cut monsters out of the main deck for that. Triple Barrier, which I hope never gets reprinted so that there's just like 4 Infernity players in the world. 3 Inferno, and this is a big argument people have against me, and just against the card in general, is that it's inherently a neg, because you pitch in order to fill your graveyard. But the second that you get your Mirage play off with this, and you start searching for your Archfiends, it becomes a delayed plus, and that's the main reason why this deck has such a hard time with Mermail, is because in order to get above your opponent, you slowly minus them with barriers and Void Ogre plays, and this card facilitates that. But against the Mermail, when they're able to drop cards in multiple chains, you can't slowly gain advantage because they're able to pick your back row off before you can stop anything. And so that was really, really frustrating all day. Double Deprison, it makes it so that if I open with setup plays in Mirage, and I go first, I can activate my Infernos, load my grave, or I can set my Infernos, have my cards in hand, summon the Mirage, set the Deprison with it, and then load my grave and feel safe behind the Deep Prison, so Mirage can go off turn 2. Breaks, because they're searchable and amazing, and you can remove things that aren't monsters with them. I found that out. Solemn Set, Compulse, and Starlight, and that's the main deck. And then, would you like extra deck or?
Yes, please, sir.
Extra deck first.
Thank you.
Extra deck is Leviathan, Zenmaines, and Levair. I found myself going turn 1 Zenmaines pretty frequently when I opened up with the tour guide, because most of the times that I opened with tour guide I was against the mermails, and I couldn't do anything, so I had to try to stall. One of the mermail players, had I gotten my Guardian sooner, I probably could have ended up stalling until I OTK'd, but I was super low and he was able to Gargaga Cowboy burn me for a game, so that was not great. Abyss Dweller won me game 1 against Dark World, or no, game 2. I 2-0'd the Dark World player, which is surprising because I usually have a hard time with him. And then Utopia, because there's a play that allows me to have a special summon Necromancer, Dark Grepher, and Archfiend underneath this. And so if they attempt to attack the Necromancer, I can detach the Archfiend and make Necromancer live again. And because it's in attack position, my barriers are still live. And that's really fun to do.
All these seeds.
That's all the exceeds is just these. I'd like to be able to fit a gunman in, cowboy in, because it's awesome, but I don't know if I can at this point. Mandatory is this card if you're ever playing Infernity, because it's fucking ridiculous and pushes in games. It's amazing. There's Catastor, and that's it for the 5s. I don't run any 6s. Again, a big reason why I took the Beetle out is because I had trouble fitting in the 6s, and then he makes awkward plays anyway, so I just took the Beetle out and the 6s out, and the deck can't even go into 6 anymore, so no 6s, and then no 7s either, because I have no use of them, and then the rest of them are 8s and 1 9. So we have Stardust Dragon, Scrap Dragon, just because they're mandatory. This is mostly for Starlight Road. We have 100 Eyes Dragon. You only need 2 now that you can't run Bryonic for the loop. And against the Dark World player, he ended up dumping one of my Mirages, and then I was able to search into the second one, so I went off both of these in one turn, and just not all over the board. It was great. Yeah, it was great. Nutting is great. And then Doom Dragon, you only need 1. Void Ogre, however, you need 2, and I've seen people playing only 1 of these, and it's really stupid because this card alone wins you the game. If Konami said, hey, we're making a 3,000 attack Xian monster, I don't understand why anyone would be okay with it. And then they did, and then I was happy. And then the last one is Mistworm. He's my 9, and he is Mistworm.
What does he do?
If I was able to run this card, by the way, I feel pretty confident that I would have gone to day 2. Lovable Chain, when it comes out, is going to make this deck retarded, because I can put all my Archfiends on top for days. That was for you, Mark. For days. And then side deck. Out of the side, I'll show you in a sec, but I only sided in, I think, 6 cards out of this whole, no, 7. 8 out of this thing through the whole day, and they were pretty much the same thing the whole time. Double Thunder King, this is pretty much exclusively for Mermail. You can side it in for windups, however, Goes in Match is the only thing you need to side for windups. And if you don't draw it, it's fine, because I have a good matchup against them anyway. Kinetic Soldier, and that's because Xian wrecks my shit, and also I don't like hero players. I hate hero players. I'm not saying the deck is hard, I just don't like hero players. Twister and Close Forest are both for Necro Valley, because if I play Gravekeeper and they play Necro Valley, I immediately lose the game. And this is also for Dark World, which made him very sad.
Hey, what's up, YouTube?
Hey, what is up, YouTube? Random system down. I didn't know what to put in. This should have been a Mind Crush, so that when the Mermail player... Never mind. Don't worry about that. Soul Drain. Every time I got this card, it was either MST'd, it was card destruction out of my hand, or it was too late in the game for me to stop the Mermail player. There's one play in this, and it's the only way to really stop the Megalo play is if you're able to chain barrier to Megalo, or chain barrier to Megalo, and then on the separate chain for all of their drops, chain the Soul Drain, and that's the only way I can think that this deck can really handle Mermail. Goes in Match. Goes in. This came in, how many matches? 2, 3, 4 matches out of 8 yesterday. Both of the Chaos Dragon players this like wrecked them, and both of the wind-up players were not happy. I was able to turn 2 goes in Void Ogre against the first wind-up player, and he was not having a great time. The second compulse, I again for no reason. Oops! Look at you dropping cards. You dropped my Cordero token. Cordero token. And then this is the only thing I felt necessary to side against all of the people playing macro, because my plan, and I didn't have to play macro players, which was nice, was to sit and stall until my remove from play filled up, and then hopefully have a barrier down, summon my monster out, and then under barrier be able to return from a different dimension, and then swarm the board. So that's that. As far as the deck goes, it's really, really strong right now because it's weak to effect failure. And because Mermail doesn't give a shit about effect failure, no one was playing them, and so I had a really easy time walking through all of the matches that weren't Mermail. Except Mermail. And then Mermail beats me. All the Mermail players 2-0'd me, and there's really nothing this deck can do about it. I'm not afraid to admit it. But yeah, so that's about it. I got my cool token, and my cool token number 2. Oh, come here.
And show off your stash.
And apparently I have a beautiful mustache. Anyway, so that most of the reason I put this up is because there was a lot of people that I ended up talking to throughout the day, and all of you people who were talking to me, thank you. You were all very nice. All my opponents were super cool. If I played you, I'm very happy I played you, even the guy I was very mad at.
All right, thank you very much, Scola.
Bye, I love you. You're very nice, like my mustache.